lovelies, and welcome back to Crazy But Not Dangerous. I'm Shorty Vaughn, and today for dinner we're going to have shake and bake chicken legs. I'm really excited. So this was a question that I got from Let's Dehydrate video earlier in the week when I cleaned my spice grinder with bread and it made the breadcrumbs, and I said, oh, I'm going to use this to make some shake and bake pork chops or some shake and bake chicken. How to make shake and bake at home. So I had to run over to the Albertsons because we were at a mill, and you know, that just ain't gonna fly. So I ran over there and I was looking at their shake and bake, and they've got all kinds of choices. They've got original, they've got pork, they've got barbecue, they've got all the great flavors. They also have a premium on the price. So a 4.5 ounce box of shake and bake was $5, $4.99. Yeah, that's too pricey. So I went on the app, looked at Walmart, $4.19. Did a little bit more searching. The lowest price I found was at H-E-B in Texas at $3.64 for a 4.5 ounce package. I live in Arizona, and there is no way that I'm going all the way to Texas for some discounted shake and bake. I'm going to make some at home. Going to make a copycat. Going to save a ton of money, because essentially shake and bake is seasoned breadcrumbs. Now, shake and bake originated in 1965 as a healthy alternative for deep frying your chicken. Oven fried chicken, that's it. Oven fried chicken, much more healthy and equally as crispy and delicious as, you know, your deep fat frying. Still holds true today. It's delicious. It's less fuss, it's less muss, and it is a lot less cleanup to fry oven fried chicken. So we're going to do that today. Andrew's super excited because he could have fried chicken any day of the week, and he doesn't care how I prepare it, whether it's fried, deep fried, pan fried, oven fried, cooked in the solar oven. He does not care. But let me show you what I did get at Albertsons today. And I got this sourdough loaf. It is 1.5 pounds, 24 ounces, and I got it on sale for $1.99. So when you compare 4.5 ounce package of seasoned breadcrumbs to 24 ounces for $1.99, you could potentially make enough shake and bake for pennies for $1.99 plus some spices. This could last you the entire summer. And if you don't have a spice grinder, if you don't have, food processor, don't worry about it. Crumble it up with your hands. Get the kids involved. It's super easy. And pennies on the dollar. You could have enough Copycat shake and bake for the entire summer. Yay, hooray! All right, babies, let's get down to it. Let's make some homemade shake and bake. So these are the breadcrumbs that I had when I cleaned my spice grinder. And so those are a little bit spicy because I had zapped up some red chili flakes with them and used the bread to clean my spice grinder, which works beautifully. Had another piece of bread. This was the center part of a loaf that I had made in my bread machine, and this is where the dough hook kind of leaves an imprint. Nobody wants this piece. I'm not going to waste it. I would make it into breadcrumbs, or I would make it into croutons. Today it's going to be shake and bake. So yeah, I zapped the first part up in my spice grinder, in my food processor, what have you. But if you don't have one, you just take the bread and you just crumble it up as small as you possibly can. It's gonna be fine. And just go ahead and give it a good old crumble. You do not need fancy equipment for this. Now, fancy equipment will take a little bit less time, but you know, get your kids to do it. They're not doing anything. They're on summer vacation driving you crazy. Put them to work. Hey, who wants to help mom in the kitchen? Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to go ahead and crumble these all up. I am going to make about 4.5 ounces, just like the package. The package used to come with a bag. so you could do your shaking. Doesn't come with the bag anymore. But you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use washed out, thoroughly cleaned, recycled Ziploc bag. Yeah, it had oh, I don't know, like maybe peppers in it or something like that. So thoroughly washed and already, it's a great way to use your recycled Ziploc bags. Andrew loves shake and bake. And you know what? It's really good for a lot of things. It's good for chicken. It's good for pork. It's good for fish. Anything that you want to oven fry, yeah, it's terrific. If I was a vegetarian, I would still like shake and bake. And I would take my vegetables and I would just go ahead and maybe soak those in a little bit of, you know, soy milk or something like that, and then roll them around in my shake and bake, put them in the oven, and go ahead and have like oven fried veg. Yeah, I would use eggplant, zucchini and squash, onions. Oh, you could have some, yeah, you could have really thick sliced oven baked onion rings. Those would be amazing. Anyhow, yeah, shake and bake. But don't pay $4 or $5 or even $3.64. Go ahead and just make your own. So if you didn't have a loaf that you got off of the discount bakery rack, maybe you save your heels from your regular loaves of bread. Or maybe you just have some bread that, you know, went a little stale. It happens to me. Not very often, but it does happen. All right, if you find that the crusts are just too difficult to crumble, go ahead and set those aside. And you can continue to make these as fine as you want. I'll show you mine, and I think these are ready to go in. Absolutely. Just like that. Just like that. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be difficult. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pop these in my Easy Bake Oven to allow these to toast. I'm guessing that at about 300 degrees, it's going to take about 15, maybe 20 minutes. And I'll go ahead and stir them up while it's in there, making sure that I get all of them, you know, golden brown, delicious, toasty. My bread is fairly already dry, so it shouldn't take long at all. Yay, hooray! Okay, well, my breadcrumbs came out of the Easy Bake Oven, and they're all toasted and delicious. Yay, hooray! And then I've just got some various spices here. So basically, shake and bake is well seasoned breadcrumbs. So let's go ahead and spice it up. I have a 1 teaspoon measure here, and I have some Italian seasoning. Yes, indeed, I have re-upped on my Italian seasoning. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. I have my green powder. I think this is an excellent use for it. If you didn't have green powder, I would probably just use a teaspoon of parsley. That would be just fine. Go ahead and put that in there. Got some onion powder. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of that. Here we go. You can use any spice combination that you enjoy. Got some granulated garlic. And a teaspoon of that. Teaspoon of the paprika. Mine is smoked. If you like the sweet, by all means, or omit it entirely. Whatever rocks your boat. This already has some of the essence from the red chili flakes, so I'm not going to add anything spicy to this. I think it will be spicy enough, but if you wanted to add some cayenne, you could certainly do so, or if you like it spicy, or omit it entirely. Got some sea salt, and I'm going to add 1, 2, and 1/2 teaspoons of the sea salt. I'm going to add a few grinds of the fresh black pepper, or about 1/2 teaspoon if you have already ground. There we go. And then I'm just going to go ahead, stir this all up. And there are my well-seasoned breadcrumbs. Yay, hooray! Alternatively, if you did not have bread, day-old bread or discount bread or what have you, you could grab a container of breadcrumbs from the 99 cents only store, Dollar Tree, what have you, and use those. So yeah, that's it. It's all done. But I will store this in a mason jar with a tight-fitting lid, or use it right away. So I'm going to use this in 2 applications tonight. So I am just going to go ahead and put this in my recycled Ziploc bag. Get this all ready for dinner time. We're almost there. It's almost time for dinner. Almost time for Jeopardy. Yippee skippy. Okay, it's time to get everything ready. I've got my oven preheating to 400 degrees. And I just want it really good and hot, but I am going to turn it down. And I realized when I was making my mix that I had forgotten the secret ingredient. And you know that the secret ingredient usually is 1 teaspoon of sugar. So I am going to go ahead and add that now. No harm, no foul. I'll just go ahead and give this a good shake up to make sure that sugar is incorporated throughout. Just that 1 teaspoon. And I don't want to forget that teaspoon, because that is really what is going to make the extra brown, crispy deliciousness on my items, and just kind of caramelize them a little bit. And so got my teaspoon of sugar in there, and then I went ahead and I cut up a zucchini, and I also made some onion rings. So I changed my meal plan a little bit because I'm really tired. I'm beat. It's Friday. I've had a hard week at work, and I didn't have it in me to make a separate side dish. So I'm doing all in one. I've also prepared my tray here. I've got some aluminum foil on the bottom. Then I've got a couple of baking racks because I didn't have one big enough to cover the whole thing. So I'm just overlapping 2 baking racks. That's going to work just fine. If you didn't have a baking rack, I would just crumple up some additional aluminum foil, and then I would lay my pieces up on top of that with the crinkles, because you want good airflow beneath and above so that all sides get crispy, so you don't end up with like a soggy side. Nobody likes a soggy bottom. Anyhow, got my veg and my 4 pieces of chicken. I'll eat 1. Andrew will have the other 3. And if you needed to do more chicken, absolutely, you might need some more additional breadcrumbs. This is 4.5 ounces of breadcrumb, and I think that's going to do it for me just fine. Also have some of this, dollar store cooking spray. I'm going to give everything just a little zip, zip, zip with the cooking spray, and then I'll go ahead and turn those legs over and do the other side. The cooking spray will help the breadcrumbs adhere, and we want good coverage. Absolutely. Now, if you didn't have cooking spray, you could absolutely just drizzle this with a little milk, or maybe you go ahead and roll everything in an egg or buttermilk. Or if you're on a really tight budget, you could just sprinkle everything with a little bit of water, and that would work too. Absolutely. Okay, so we've got that all taken care of. Yeah, Piggy and Andrew both just thrilled about oven fried chicken tonight. Got my breadcrumbs in here. They're all seasoned. Got my teaspoon of sugar. Can't forget that. And then I am going to just go ahead and pop everything in here together. The vegetables, like I said, this would be great with eggplant, squash, zucchini, yeah, all kinds of things. You could do pork chops, you could do fish, all veg. My friend Hollis called and we were talking about shake and bake, and we were talking about all the different kinds of shake and bake you could make. You could add, any kind of herb or spice that you wanted to this. Thyme, rosemary, chicken seasoning, a barbecue blend. If you wanted to make it like Asian flavored, add some, some dried ginger maybe, and some Chinese 5-spice. The possibilities would be endless. And, whatever veg you want to oven fry. Got all of our stuff in there now. And I am going to seal this bag very, very carefully, because I am going to shake it, and I don't want it all over my kitchen or all over me. I'm still clean today. I don't want to have to, go hose off before I eat dinner. So very, very thoroughly check to make sure your bag is sealed. If you were doing this in another kind, like you could do this in like a leftover bread bag that you saved. Make sure your knot at the top is really tight. And then, just like the shake and bake you buy at the grocery store, just give it a good toss over and over and over again. And maybe the kids like to help. That's how the commercial used to go. So the commercial was a grandma and her little granddaughter, and we're going to have chicken. And they were Southern and had really cute accents and everything. And the granddaughter was adorable. And we're going to have chicken. And you want to help. And they're preparing the chicken. They get the bag out. And Grandma lets her shake it. And they put it in the oven. They fry it up. And the end scene is Grandma, Grandpa, the mom, the dad, and then the daughter. And the mom bites into, why isn't my chicken this crispy and delicious? What's your secret, Mom? And the little granddaughter pipes up, it's shake and bake and I help. Anyhow, we drove my mom crazy going around saying that all the time. It's shake and bake and I help. And yeah, it drove her nuts. She was a good sport. Anyhow, yeah, let your kids shake it. Get it all in there. Get everything coated. And then let's go ahead and we'll just lay this baby out. Yeah, that looks good. That looks well coated. And some veg. I'm going to pull all the chicken out first, I think. So I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees. Because I am cooking boned-in chicken, I am going to turn it down to 375 degrees so that my chicken cooks all the way through, but I don't burn my crumb coating. I'm going to cook this at 375 degrees for about 45 minutes or until it reaches a safe internal temperature of at least 165 degrees. If you had no bag, just go ahead and spray everything in your pan, in your little dish, and then just go ahead and sprinkle it over. That would be fine. And I have the aluminum foil at the bottom because I don't want to scrub dishes tonight. I want to watch Jeopardy. I want to watch Wheel of Fortune. And then, do the dishes that I have to do, and then that's going to be it for me. You know, lights out. I will turn this halfway through and make sure that we're getting both sides crispy and delicious. But I'm not going to be super fussy about it. Okay. There we go. That squash came from my baby sister. Her and her boyfriend, they grew it over in their garden, and I cut it into about 1-inch pieces so that it would have the roughly the same cooking time as the chicken. Okay, it's almost ready to go into the oven, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and just give it a couple more squirts of the cooking spray, and that will also help it get extra crispy. So we'll go ahead and pop this on in. Be your best self. Be delicious. I believe in you. And then I'll go ahead and turn this down to 375 degrees. Gonna let that go for about 45 minutes. Get my thermometer all ready because I'll want to check the internal temperature. Of course, you can do this with boneless, skinless chicken thighs, chicken legs, chicken breasts. You could do this with pork chops, bone in or bone out. If I was making this with a boneless, skinless chicken product or a boneless pork chop or fish, I would cook it at the 400 degrees, but I would only cook it for probably about 20 or 25 minutes because those are going to cook so much faster. But where I'm at right now, bone-in, whole kinds of products are the cheapest. Those chicken legs, I think I spent, good job, I think I spent like 97 cents per pound a few weeks back. So I got them out of my freezer, and they're a bargain. Yeah, and they're going to be crispy and delicious. So if you have a good sale on your boneless, skinless chicken thighs, breasts, or legs, you know, this is a good application for it. But also bone-in works just as well, just at a slightly lower temperature. So there you go. All right, bring you back when this is all done. I'm super excited. Piggy's just over there in the sidelines doing spinnies. He's been excited since the chicken came out of the freezer to thaw. You know, everybody's excited about oven fried chicken. Shake and bake. Yay, hooray. Okay, my lovelies, dinner's all done. There we go. I've got my shake and bake veg, all crispy and delicious. My shake and bake chicken, super excited. Gonna serve that with a side of apples. You know you gotta get your fruits and veg in. Anyhow, I think this is gonna taste delicious. Smells fantastic. Alright, homemade shake and bake, yay, hooray. Thanks for watching, Crazy But Not Dangerous. Be good, be careful, look both ways. I'll see you next time.